Samantha Kingston was beginning to think no part of London was safe for her. As she ran past marble pillars and priceless oil paintings, she threw a glance over her shoulder. The corridor was empty, but she could just make out a shadow at the far end, growing larger as the sound of footsteps grew louder. Samantha turned left and was dismayed to find that she'd come to a dead end. There was a door to her left and two to her right, but across from her was only a narrow hall table, supporting a blue porcelain vase, overflowing with flowers. She tried the handle of the door on the left and found it locked. The footsteps drew nearer, and her panic increased as she ran to the first of the doors on the right. To her relief, the knob turned easily, and the door swung inward. She slipped through it, closing it softly behind her. The room within was unoccupied. A trio of tall, narrow windows on the wall opposite her let in a scant amount of moonlight, casting most of the room in shadow, but she could make out a desk, a globe, and a couple of chairs. A study, then. She felt a brief qualm at entering so personal a space without her host's permission, but that was quickly forgotten when, putting an ear to a crack in the doorframe, she heard the footsteps, louder than ever. Straightening, she ran to the desk, but one glance at the space beneath told her she would never fit, not in her flounced evening gown, with flowers in her hair. In a moment of desperation, she yanked at the heavy tapestry-like curtains that bordered the windows behind the desk and flung them around herself, backing into the wall and tilting her crinoline to a flatter angle, just as the doorknob jiggled. Samantha held her breath. She heard the door swing open, then a click as it shut, followed by another, deeper click, and she realized, with horror, that she was locked inside with her pursuer. The footsteps crossed the room and stopped just behind the desk. She knew a moment of fear as she anticipated the curtains being thrown back, and she tensed. The curtains remained untouched. Instead, she could hear shuffling paper and the opening and closing of drawers. Releasing a barely audible breath, Samantha reconsidered the last 10 minutes. She and her friend Madge, Lady Bradwell, were attending a concert at the home of a Mr. Ponsonby. Samantha had been surprised when Madge accepted the invitation on their behalf, as Mr. Ponsonby was a wealthy manufacturer, not a member of the peerage or even the gentry.